We're here with Will Davison. Will, we have some fantastic news about the Bathurst 6 Hour. What are you up to?
Yeah, obviously pretty excited to join the entry list for the 6 Hour this year. Driving with a very good friend of mine, Tim Lay, and Berwick Linton. It's something that I'm really excited about. I spent the race last year in the pit bunker with Bez and Tim, and really enjoyed it. It's a very refreshing change from my everyday supercar seat, and the opportunities popped up. And I don't do too much out of the supercar these days, but I think this is a great opportunity. Clearly, Tim and Berwick have been the car and drivers to beat the last few years at that race. So, to do something a bit different is something I'm excited about. I think we're going to have a good shot at the race, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity.
So you mentioned that you came to the event last year. You clearly had fun. What drew you to the 6 Hour?
The 6 Hours, production-based motor race, and it just had a real refreshing sort of vibe around it. It's still serious. It's a serious motor race, but it was a little bit more laid back. You have such huge variation in cars, huge variation in drivers. You have somewhat professionals there all the way through to, amateurs living their dream driving at the mountains. So, just a very different style of race, very different style of car to tame. And I think there's something, that's a bit old school about that. And it's what motorsport was really built on, was production car racing. So we get, I won't say spoiled, but in high performance professional motorsport, it is intense, it's cutthroat, it's ruthless. So to be able to step outside of that, still bring my competitive nature, obviously we're there to win the race, but do it in a bit of an old school sort of environment, is something that's quite appealing and refreshing to me. And I'd love to sort of add that result, certainly the prestigiousness of that race result, to the CV.
You've had some wins at Bathurst before. This would be a lovely thing to have on your CV, wouldn't it?
It would, honestly be something, really meaningful on the CV. Obviously 2 Bathurst 1000 wins. It's stuff dreams are made of. It's pretty special to have that. But I'm also a fan of diversity, and there's probably less and less of that these days than what there was back in the day, if you like, where drivers were driving in many different championships and different styles of cars, and I've never really had that opportunity. I've been very fortunate to have the career I've had, but it's sort of been put down the order on the priority, I suppose. But at this stage in my career now, to have this opportunity to try and add something a bit different to the name is a bit more appealing than it was a few years ago for me. And I think diversity is important. Being able to drive different styles of cars and different natured motor races is important. So I've done the 12 Hour on a few occasions. I've stood on the podium at the Bathurst 12 Hour. I didn't quite win that race. So absolutely, the more I think about it, the more I really want to add this crown to my CV.
Well, you would be aware that there's only a couple of people that have actually done the Triple Crown. One of them is Paul Morris, and the other one is Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, and I do always take note of that, and I sort of read those sort of stats with great interest. So obviously, seeing Shane win the 6 Hour last year, actually being next to him in the McLaren a few years ago at the 12 Hour when he won the race, and obviously I've had some great tussles with him at the 1000 as well on many occasions. So very cool that those guys can say they've done that. I'm not sure if anyone's added the 24 Hour to it. Maybe we'll get that event back one day, but for the moment, I'm just looking forward to this challenge. I'm looking forward to driving with a great mate in Tim Lay. It's not every day you get that sort of an opportunity, and I love the vibe that Tim and Bez and his team brought to the race last year. They were all very relaxed. They had fun, but obviously they were serious about winning the race, and it was something really refreshing for me. Here we are, 12 months on in the car. We joked about it last year. I wasn't sure it would actually happen, but it's happening now, and now I'm really excited.
Just to recap, you'll be in the 23 car, which is a BMW M3. You'll be with Tim Lay and Berwick Linton. you're right. It's a very relaxed environment, but I'll tell you what, it's also very professional, and they want to win. So I think you've positioned yourself really well to get a seat in that deal.
I mean, I'm there to win the race, and as much as Tim's a great friend, and I've known Beric a long time, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't feel we were a good shot at winning. So I think they've proved themselves time and time again that they are the red hot favourites and the car to beat at that race. And I've enjoyed supporting the last few years, not only last year in the pits, the year before when they won the race, I was cheering on from the couch at home. The year before, I believe they were very close to a win where I think they had the wheel come off with half an hour to go, or maybe even less. Obviously I've been cheering Beric and Tim on for years. It was cool to see the inner sanctum of the way they operate last year. I just enjoyed it. They were clearly there to win a race. Just a different environment to what I'm used to, but still the same concept applies. And they were professional about their approach. They were passionate about their approach, and it'll be no different this year. I'll bring my expertise and experience to the table, and I'll have a bit to learn as well from those guys to get my head around a very different style of car. So it's going to be fun, but don't be fooled. We're there with one goal in mind, and that's to try and win the thing.